Hello, I'm Stephen Cravey, and I'm the Collections Graduate Assistant here at the Georgia Southern Museum. I want to take you back to our collections room to talk a little about some of the threats that our collection faces. I've talked in a past video about the importance of temperature and humidity regulation, but there's another important issue that can crop up in a collections room: pests. Pests can be any living creature that finds its way into this room and damages the items stored in here. Common pests include rodents, birds, molds, and bugs. Bugs can be especially dangerous. They're small and easy to overlook. Different species feed on a number of different materials we have in our collection. So I want to talk with you about just a few of those bugs and what we have to watch out for in our collections room to prevent them from getting in here in the first place. We can break these pests down into the materials they damage. There are a few bugs that feed on fabrics, like this here, with moths being one of the major threats. Now, most moths are harmless, but the larvae of a few species are known to eat away at wool, silk, fur, feathers, and similar materials. In their adult stage, they no longer feed, but any eggs they lay might lead to an infestation. Carpet beetles are the other major threat to fabrics. Like moths, the adults are not a problem, but their larvae will chew through carpets, hence the name, but also other fabrics, fur, and leather. They're even capable of digesting keratin, allowing them to tear apart animal horns. We've actually had a case here at Georgia Southern of carpet beetles destroying a collection of taxidermy animals. Other bugs like silverfish and fire brats will eat away at fabrics, but they're also dangerous to books and papers. They love to eat the glue that holds together book bindings, causing these books to fall apart once an infestation takes hold. They also feast on mold, so an infestation may also point to mold problems as well. So fabrics and papers face significant threats, but what about wood? Thankfully, we haven't had any issues with termites here at the museum, but another threat has caused serious damage. The larvae of powder post beetles, also known as wood-boring beetles, eat away at the interior of wooden objects, digging small tunnels through their meals and leaving behind the fine powder that gives them their name. When they reach adulthood, they bore their way out of the wood, leaving small exit holes behind. Unfortunately, we've had to deal with powder post beetles here at the museum. An infestation of these bugs managed to take hold in this wooden artifact here, which they tunneled through extensively enough to basically hollow it out. What should be a heavy piece of solid wood is made light and delicate due to the powder post beetles eating away so much of the interior. The last pest I'll mention is a more general one, and one that we're all probably quite familiar with: cockroaches. Nobody likes to see these guys move into their space, and the same is true here in a collections room. Though not necessarily as devastating as some of the previous insects I've mentioned, they'll still eat away at paper, glue, leather, animal skin, and fur. They'll also leave behind feces that can stain or otherwise damage sensitive materials like paper. So, how do we keep away all these creepy crawlies from our collection? The most important thing is temperature and humidity control. Bugs tend to like warm, wet environments. A good collections room should be trying to stay relatively cool and dry anyway, both to keep away bugs, but also because excessive heat and moisture are bad for most collection materials on their own. It's also important to examine any object being brought into a collection. In many cases, donated objects may have been sitting in a place where they were already exposed to pests and might be carrying them like some kind of insect-ridden Trojan horse. Infested objects will have to be set aside and treated to prevent any further damage to the collection. Traps, like the sticky trap you see here, are employed as part of a pest management plan to prevent and resolve pest infestations. Pesticides can be used, but we want to avoid spraying harsh chemicals around fragile materials whenever possible. Whatever method we use, we want to make sure that we're protecting our collection to the best of our ability.